Water Pollution Control Authority meeting, Monday, May 8th, 2017. And we're going to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And may we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Arnone.
Here.
Commissioner Bosco.
Here.
Commissioner Sakala.
Here.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Denny.
Here.
Commissioner Edgar.
Here.
Commissioner Falk. Chairman Copen.
Here.
Vice Chairman Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Ludwig.
Here.
Commissioner Suzak.
Here.
There's 10 members present, one is absent.
Okay, we have, first item of business is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting, December 19th, 2016. Is there a motion to approve? Motion. By Counselor Sakala, or Commissioner Sakala, seconded by Commissioner Denny. Any discussion on the minutes? Sensing none, then by a show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. The old business remains on the table, and so we need a motion to move the items for discussion A to miscellaneous.
So moved.
By Commissioner Edgar, seconded by Commissioner Suzak. Discussion? By show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous? And we move to miscellaneous, and we have a resolution setting a public hearing for the 2017-18 sewer service fees and rates. Whereas the Enfield Water Pollution Control Authority values the opinions and comments of its constituents, and whereas in accordance with Section 86-52F, the Enfield Water Pollution Control Authority must hold a public hearing on the proposed sewer service fees and rates for the upcoming fiscal year. Now therefore be it resolved that the Enfield Water Pollution Control Authority shall conduct a public hearing in the Town Council Chambers at Town Hall, 820 Enfield Street, Monday, May 15th, 2017 at 6:50 p.m. on the proposed sewer service fees and rates for fiscal year 2017-2018.
So moved.
By Commissioner Lee, seconded by Commissioner Suzak. Discussion? Commissioner Edgar?
Yeah, what are the rates?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall. John, do you happen to have?
We have, I don't recall specifically what they are. There's a split level rate. I think it's up to the first 20,000 gallons used. And then,
Have they changed from last year?
No, they have not.
Well, that's.
Right. They do remain the
it's-
same.
It's 339 and so forth, okay.
Further questions, comments? Then may we have roll call, please?
Commissioner Arnone.
4.
Commissioner Bosco.
4.
Commissioner Sakala.
4.
Commissioner Davis.
4.
Commissioner Denny.
4.
Commissioner Edgar.
4.
Chairman Copen.
4.
Vice Chairman Lee.
4.
Commissioner Ludwig.
4.
Commissioner Suzak. 4. There's 10 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
And that completes the business for Water Pollution Control Authority. So is there a motion to adjourn?
moved.
By Commissioner Lee, seconded by Commissioner Denny. Show of hands. All those in favor? Those opposed? We are adjourned, and we will move right into special meeting of the Enfield Town Council, Monday, May 8th, 2016, with roll call, please.
Counselor Arnone.
Here.
Counselor Bosco.
Here.
Counselor Sakala.
Here.
Counselor Davis.
Here.
Counselor Denny.
Here.
Counselor Edgar.
Here.
Counselor Falk. Mayor Copen.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lee.
Here.
Counselor Ludwig.
Here.
Counselor Suzak. Here. There's 10 members present, one is absent.
All right. What I will do is read the main motion that is found in our packet, first resolution, and then we will move into the amendments that were left at the table. Following all of the amendments, we would then go to the remaining resolutions in the packet. All right? So the main motion reads, resolve that page 11, general fund revenue summary, and page 15, summary of expenditure by function of the town budget as submitted by the town manager and the estimates for the fiscal year commencing July 1, 2017, and ending June 30, 2018, including estimates of receipts and expenditures and recommendations of said Town of Enfield for emergency medical services, pages 137, 139 to 142, water pollution control, pages 79, 81 to 86, social services fund, pages 88 to 91, and 93 to 115, dog fund, pages 134 and 135, information technology fund, pages 124 and 126 through 132, recreation fund, pages 144 and 146 through 153, insurance fund, pages 117 and 118 through 122, and capital improvement funds, pages 155 through 158, be accepted and approved by the Town Council of the Town of Enfield.
So moved.
By Deputy Mayor Lee, seconded by Councilor Arnone. And we now move to the amendments, and we'll proceed with Councilor Bosco with the second by Councilor Ludwig. Councilor Ludwig, well, as we typically do, and move through. Okay.
Amendment 1, to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 16 in accordance with the following schedule, travel and professional development for NLC. Town Council, professional development from $4,350 to $5,850. Travel from $8,000 to $18,500.
So moved.
Motioned and seconded. Any discussions on Amendment 1? Councilor Edgar.
Yes, I do not recall the reason for going for the increases.
So in deliberations, it was mentioned that typically in the first year of a first term of a new council, that councilors attend the National League of Cities meetings in Washington, D.C., and thus the increase in the travel expenditure line item to allow a number of councilors to attend.
That comes up with the maximum number of counselors to attend.
I believe this is based on, say, an average where it's typically not the full council, but that there could be 5 to 6 counselors that may attend the meeting.
All right. I can understand that, but having been there, I don't see actually what we get out of it, so I'll be voting against this one.
Okay, any further discussion? Then by a show of hands, all those in favor of Amendment 1? Those opposed? So 9-1. Okay. Mike?
Amendment number 2, to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 29 in accordance with the following schedule, in parentheses, unemployment. Human resources, unemployment, from $100,000 to $90,000.
Second?
Motioned and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment 2? Show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous?
Amendment number 3, to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 48 in accordance with the following schedule. Energy performance contract savings. Building, grounds, and maintenance, electricity from $1,508,892 to $1,108,892.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Discussion on Amendment 3. Then show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed, unanimous.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer amendment number 4, and this is to amend the manager's proposed 2017-18 budget as shown on pages 61 and 65 in accordance with the following schedule. And this is the move of one secretary to Development Services Administration. So on page 61, Development Services Administration, under salaries, from $112,500 to $150,848. Health and medical, from $7,877 to $8,877. Life insurance, from $193 to $285. Social Security and FICA taxes, from $7,161 to $9,539. Medicare taxes, from $1,675 to $2,231. Then on page 65, under Development Services Planning, under salaries, these are decreases of $295,577 down to $257,229. Health and medical, from $63,037 to $62,037. Life insurance, from $855 to $763. Social Security, from $19,656 to $17,278. Medicare, from $4,598 to $4,042.
And second, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment 4? Sensing none, show of hands. All those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous. Amendment number 5, I make a motion to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 72 in accordance with the following schedule. Boards and commissions, Cultural Arts Committee, from $4,000 to $9,000.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment 5? Sensing none, show of hands. All those in favor? Those opposed? Any abstentions? One in opposition. Amendment number 6.
Getting there. To amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 73 in accordance with the following schedule. In parentheses, Scandic River testing. Non-town agency Scandic River from 0 to 2,500.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
If I may.
Go ahead,
Can
Bill.
we have the budget actually reflect that as the Scantic River Watershed Association in the final document?
We'll make that correction.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Sensing none, by show of hands. All those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous.
Amendment number 7, a motion to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 76 in accordance with the following schedule. Nathan Hale state payment, farmland preservation, and police extra duty for roads 2015. Okay, yep, transfers out of contingency, transfers to capital. $2,443 from sorry. What did I say?
$2,000,000, you said $443.
Oh, 1,000.
Right.
It's to $1,718,000.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment 7? Red?
Yes, on the part where it says police extra duty. Can somebody explain that entire thing? I can see the Nathan Hale, the farmland. How come we got police extra duty?
So when we programmed the town's contribution to the roads project from the general fund through the capital non-reoccurring, we budgeted only sufficient dollars to provide for flaggers as opposed to extra jobs. Based on the discussion that occurred with council council asked that the extra jobs be reestablished, provided that town administration and the police department were able to update the existing policy on how officers would be used with respect to extra jobs. So in order to meet council's request to bring back extra jobs, the budget had to be increased from the town's contribution from the general fund to the roads fund by approximately $40,000.
So Red, what actually, and for everyone, so Amendment 7 is
This shows a
is
decrease,
the reduction,
but
but
I-
Amendment 12, so these
Shows-
offset each other.
all right.
Yep.
Yeah, 12 says town paving is increased from 160 to 200. That's the 40,000.
Right, so one lowers and one increases. Okay. Any further discussion on Amendment 7? By show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous? Ed?
Amendment 8, to amend the manager's proposed 2018 budget appropriation for the town as shown on page 15 by decreasing from $63,717,369 to $62,601,869.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment number 8? By show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous?
Amendment number 9, to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget by decreasing the total school and town appropriation as shown on page 15 from $133,406,554 to $132,291,054.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussions on Amendment number 9? Then, sensing none, show of hands. All those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous?
Amendment number 10, to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 budget as shown on page 12 in accordance with the following schedule. General fund revenue, taxes, real estate, $75,052,747 to $74,029,466. Taxes, personal property from $6,832,824 to $6,740,605.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment 10? Sensing none, by a show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Unanimous?
Amendment 11, to amend the manager proposed 2017-2018 budget by decreasing the total revenue appropriation as shown on page 11 and 13 from $133,406,555 to $132,291,055.
Motion by Counselor Bosco, seconded by Counselor Ludwig. Any discussion on Amendment 11? Sensing none. I'm not going to have, by show of hands, all those in favor. Those opposed. Unanimous.
Amendment number 12, to amend the manager's proposed 2017-2018 CIP budget as shown on pages 155 to 158 in accordance with the following schedule. Capital Improvement Fund revenue transfers in general fund from $2,443,000 to $1,718,000. Expenditures, farmland preservation from 0 to 10,000. Nathan Hale closure expenses, $850,000 to $75,000. Town paving minus $300,000 LOCIP funds, $160,000 to $200,000.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on Amendment 12? Red?
Is the 75,000 the cost to move the school?
The $75,000 was the original estimate that was provided by the Public Works Department to close Hale. So I'm not aware that the $75,000 is related to any expense to relocate any function from Hale to another facility or to relocate any other school facility. These expenses are the Public Works Department's estimate to specifically perform the work to close down
This
Nathan Hale.
is not the cost of renovating Elkhorn or renovating the Barnard schools.
Not to my knowledge, no, sir.
Well, the question is, where is that going to be paid for from the budget?
Well, that work is currently, it's happening under the current fiscal budget. At this point in time, there are certain expenses which the school is incurring the direct cost of, so things like paint and the carpet cleaner and those types of items. And then there is the in-kind service that the town is providing, which is the labor that is being used to put on that paint or to clean that carpet. So those are expenses that the town already incurs. We record it as in-kind expense because it's labor that we could have dedicated to some other public purpose.
In other words, it's all going to be in this budget, not in the next fiscal year budget.
That is correct.
Okay, any further discussion on Amendment 12? Sensing none, then, by show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? Any abstentions? Unanimous? That completes, are there any other amendments? Then we would go to, I believe, the main motion as amended. Any discussion on the main motion as amended? Sensing none, we go to roll call.
Counselor Arnone.
4.
Counselor Bosco.
4.
Counselor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Davis.
4.
Counselor Denny.
4.
Counselor Edgar.
Against,
Mayor Copeland.
4.
Deputy Mayor Lee.
4.
Counselor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Suzak.
4.
There's 9 in favor, 1 against, and no abstentions.
Okay, the next resolution is resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Enfield hereby finds and determines that each capital project for the 2017-18 fiscal year indicated as a series or as a specific capital expenditure in the capital improvement annual budget shall constitute a single appropriation of funds for said series or expenditure.
So moved.
By Deputy Mayor Lee, seconded by Councilor Arnone. Discussion? Red?
question is this is no longer going to be a pay-as-you-go thing.
Some of the expenses that are listed within the CIP, yes, are financed, some are cash. It is a combination, but largely, we are looking to move away from pay-as-you-go to finance. That is correct.
If you go to finance, you're going to have another interest cost.
That is correct, but the issue here is not the added expense of interest, but cash management and cash flow, and that's why we made that recommendation to council.
Well, right now, we've got over $1 million in interest expense, right? We're going to add to more expense to it?
That is correct, but council's directive was to provide for improved capital equipment and investment, but to do so without raising the millage rate any more than necessary. So in order to accomplish those goals, it was the recommendation of staff to council to finance as many capital expenditures as we could where it made sense to finance those capital improvements or purchases, yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Sensing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Arnone.
4.
Counselor Bosco.
4.
Counselor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Davis. 4. Counselor Denny.
4.
Counselor Edgar.
Against?
Mayor Copeland.
4.
Deputy Mayor Lee.
4.
Counselor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Suzak.
4.
4.
Someone coughed, that's all right.
I squeaked.
There's 9 in favor, 1 against, and no abstentions.
Next resolution, resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Enfield does hereby appropriate LoSiP grant funds in the amount of $300,000 for the following purpose in accordance with the 2017-2018 annual operating and capital budget. Town road paving, $300,000. By Counselor Arnone, seconded by Counselor Denny. Any discussion? Sensing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Arnone,
4.
Counselor Bosco. 4. Counselor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Davis.
4.
Counselor Denny.
4.
Counselor Edgar.
4.
Mayor Copeland.
4.
Deputy Mayor Lee.
4.
Counselor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Suzak.
4.
There's 10 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Next resolution, resolved that the town schools budget adopted by the town council in the amount of $69,689,185 included the anticipated revenue of $31,638,642 from the education block cost-sharing grant and special education grant on page 12 of the 2017-2018 proposed annual operating and capital budget.
So moved.
By Counselor Arnone, seconded by Counselor Suzak. Any discussion? Sensing none, roll call, please.
Counselor Arnone.
4.
Counselor Bosco. 4. Counselor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Davis.
4.
Counselor Denny.
4.
Counselor Edgar.
4.
Mayor Copeland.
4.
Deputy Mayor Lee.
4.
Counselor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Suzak.
4.
There's 10 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Next resolution, resolve that a tax rate of 31.43 mils be set on the real estate and business personal property grand list of October 1, 2016 for the town of Enfield and shall be payable in 2 semi-annual installments, July 1, 2017 and January 1, 2018. Be it further resolved that a tax rate of 28.8 mils be set on the motor vehicle grand list of October 1, 2016, and shall be paid in full on July 1, 2017. And be it further resolved, however, that real estate and personal property taxes amounting to $100 or less shall be paid in full on July 1, 2017. And be it further resolved that any motor vehicle, real estate, or taxes in the amount of $5 or less shall be waived pursuant to Connecticut State Statute, Section 12-144C.
So moved.
By Counselor Arnone, seconded by Counselor Suzak. Discussion? Bill?
Maybe a question for, get answered fully on Monday night. And Scott, through you to the town manager and Mr. Wilcox. If the legislature, before the end of the fiscal year, so say before the end of June, if the legislature were to enact legislation that sets aside the municipal revenue sharing grant and the requirements that have forced us to come up with an uneven tax rate, is that something we would have the ability to then go back and rebalance the mill rate, or is it too late by then?
It is my understanding that it is
Sorry,
I was trying to be lazy.
it's all right.
It's my understanding that once the mill rate is passed, it cannot be changed unless there is some kind of a state law that's passed. I believe they had put some kind of language in the budget last year that allowed for towns that had already passed their budget to make certain changes under certain conditions. We didn't meet that criteria last year. But as far as I'm aware, we cannot change the mill rate until that point,
Okay.
until the state makes that decision.
So normally, what is the date in June that your bills are out the door or at least out to the printer?
Generally, around the middle of June, right around the 15th, we have sent the file to the printer to have the bills printed, and then they're distributed usually the last week of June.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Red?
As I understand it, this is a .57 mil increase.
That's correct, yes.
All right. Well, I'm not sure that a lot of people can afford the .57. Social Security, people on disability, military, did not receive that kind of thing. The most they got was $4 to $8 a month, and some took a decrease in actually their money. Now, we've got people that are being foreclosed, we've got people that are losing jobs, we've got people that are going from a high-paying to a low-paying job, and I'll be voting against this because I want to say to those people, at least you have one voice here that knows you can't afford it.
Any further comments? Then I'll just quickly comment. First of all, I want to thank Brian and John and your entire staff for the budget process. I think it went very smooth this year, and appreciate the feedback and the collaboration that we had with the various departments. I want to thank my fellow counselors as well. This never is an easy process to go through, but all of our meetings were cordial. People exchange ideas back and forth, and we use that process of if there was a change to the manager's proposed budget, it wasn't looking at party specific. It was trying to get a broad consensus across the full council. We faced a lot of obstacles, and I think we continue to face obstacles, and honestly, we don't know what the obstacles are yet because of the state government not passing a budget yet. This budget does absorb an estimated $2.5 million increase in state aid from the state of Connecticut, and that represents about $1 million. So council and staff actually reduced our operations overall. And our counterparts or our colleagues on the Board of Education, their budget increase is the statutory 2.5%, and they have a gap to fill as well. But they felt that it was a reasonable gap that could be covered. So with that, I just wanted to thank everyone involved in the process. It's a tough one, and I kind of think we'll at least be addressing something within the next coming month or two, once the state passes a budget and the governor signs it. Any further?
Yeah, I didn't
Go
know
ahead,
we were
Tom.
wrapping up. Sorry.
Yep.
So I wanted to also say, thank you to our new town manager, Brian, of course, finance and all the staff for what they do that people you see on ETV, because we sit down with all departments and go through the budgets every year. This was, again, thanks to the council. We all have to disagree, even in our own party lines we disagree, but we also can walk out of here tonight and still speak with each other on everything. So that I can really appreciate. I think the CIP part of this budget is an outstanding thinking outside the box. In my opinion, this takes our CIP and levels it out over 7 years, as opposed to the peaks and valleys that we have to go through every year that could raise your mill rate 1% at 1 mil in itself. This will spread it out, make it easier to pay for, and things will actually guarantee to be done, as opposed to we can't do them this year because we can't afford it. So I think if this sitting council did anything out of the box, is thinking about this this one new way of doing business, and I think it's going to serve many councils after us well in the budget process. I think it was fair. I think it was fair to the town employees. It was fair to the school employees. This is probably one of the least combative budgets we've had with the school, and I'm proud of that. And I hope they can find their shortfalls as we have to do and move Enfield forward. So thank you, everyone, for all the weeks and almost months worth of meetings. And I'm kind of glad it's over, but I'm glad also for the town of Enfield. So.
Thank you, Tom. Joey?
Yeah, just thank you, Brian. This is probably the least amendments we've ever had. I do agree with Red, though. I mean, I'm not happy to vote on this tax increase. We went through the budget and we pretty much trimmed. There's not much fat to trim anymore, especially knowing we may have to trim some more after if the state gets us. But the only reason I'm going to vote for this tax increase is because in my eyes it's a tax decrease. because realistically, if a no vote is a yes vote to Brian's budget, not that there was anything wrong with it, Brian, but I like, almost a 0.4 of a mil cheaper than where we were. So, like I says, I'm going to vote yes for the tax increase, but realistically, it's a tax decrease, because if it fails, we're stuck with a 1 mil increase. Thank you.
Donna?
Yes, in response to Red's concern, I know we do have some tax relief programs. If we could kind of get a list of those, and we have any constituents that would qualify, then we need to, direct them to any programs that would help them, because you have to serve everybody in the community.
Any further comments? Very good. Sensing none, roll call, please. Thank you, John.
Counselor Arnone.
4.
Counselor Bosco.
4.
Counselor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Davis.
4.
Counselor Denny.
4.
Counselor Everett.
Against.
4.
Deputy Mayor Lee.
4.
Counselor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Suzak.
4.
There's 9 in favor, 1 against, and no abstentions.
That completes our items on the agenda. Any further comments, or go to a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Counselor Denny, seconded by Counselor Suzak. By show of hands, all those in favor? Those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, and have a good evening.